Apparently, Jennifer Hudson might be pregnant with Common's baby. Did she reportedly turn him down when he tried to propose last year? And could that have led to their breakup? If that's true, it makes Tiffany Haddish's latest shade even wilder, since many believe she's the one who blew the lid off Jennifer's biggest secret. With Jennifer and Common choosing complete silence, fans are whispering about both a breakup and a baby on the way. The whole situation looks messy, especially when you remember Common's track record of being a too common guy who's dated half of Hollywood, but never sticks around long enough to prove he's serious. You've got to address all of that.
I was disappointed. I was very disappointed. I was like, oh, okay, because that's not what you told me, but okay.
Well, Tiffany Haddish has just turned Jennifer Hudson's love life into a circus, and the internet swears she's let slip the one secret Jennifer's been hiding from everyone. Rumor has it, Jennifer might be pregnant with Common's baby, and that claim has been flying everywhere. What makes it even wilder is that Tiffany's shade always seems to carry extra weight. Whenever she talks about Jennifer or Common, fans don't just hear jokes, they hear receipts. Remember when a fan asked Tiffany if she ever got the necklace Common supposedly gave her to pass along? She clapped back that she never did, because he probably handed it straight to Jennifer Hudson instead. That small moment snowballed into a storm, with many convinced that Common was already creeping with Jen while he was still with Tiffany.
He might be the type of person that never really settles with somebody. Maybe he's like he's like a bee going from flower to flower to flower. I don't know.
Everybody knows that Common has an endless list of exes, and Tiffany has reserved a special kind of bitterness for Jennifer. Which is why, out of everyone watching this mess unfold, she's probably the one laughing the loudest right now. But back to these pregnancy whispers. Here's where the plot thickens. This isn't even the first time people have suspected Jennifer might be expecting. Months ago, fans thought they spotted a baby bump during an Essence Christmas promo shoot. One outfit in particular, a black form-fitting dress, had people convinced, and the comments flooded in until the video mysteriously disappeared. As one outlet put it, some speculate that Essence took down other videos at her request. And that was all it took for the rumor mill to start spinning. Even now, with Jennifer often rocking loose, flowy outfits on her talk show, the speculation won't die down. But as one article explained, after 8 months, a baby bump that hasn't grown probably isn't a baby bump at all. Still, fans aren't letting it go, and Tiffany's latest words only added more fuel. Sheesh. Can a lady have a little food pouch sometimes? God forbid she gain a little weight. But before we dive into Tiffany's latest shade, let's not forget that she actually did date Common. And she wasn't halfway in. Tiffany was head over heels, bragging about quarantining with him during the pandemic, showing him off on Instagram lives, and even talking marriage. But instead of a ring, she got flowers on her birthday and excuses when he finally walked away. After it all ended, she admitted that he might just be like a bee, going from flower to flower, never settling down.
He might be the type of person that never really settles with somebody. Maybe he's like he's like a bee going from flower to flower to flower. I don't know.
But here's the thing, she wasn't lying. Common has been through half the women in Hollywood, and every single time, he dipped the moment things got serious. Let's break it down. Back in the early 2000s, he was with Erykah Badu, his first real love. By his own words, he was devastated when it ended, claiming it was Erykah who called it quits. She later hinted that he cheated, which tracks with everything we know about him now. Then came Serena Williams, Taraji P. Henson, Angela Rye, even Ava DuVernay, top-tier women, all of them baddies. He bagged them, smiled for the cameras, and then walked away. By the time Tiffany Haddish showed up, the pattern was already carved in stone. She gave him her whole heart, went public, and even joked that she wanted him to propose with an apartment building instead of a ring. But instead of locking it down, Common pulled the same move. He blamed busy schedules and walked out. Something Tiffany later made clear wasn't the real reason for their split.
Were you angry when you saw his answer?
I was disappointed. I was very disappointed. I was like, oh, okay. Because that's not what you told me, but okay.
Wait, well, what did he tell you?
You know what? That's between us.
And then came Jennifer Hudson, the latest in a long line of women who thought they could change him. She genuinely seemed to believe she might be different, parading him around and proudly calling him that man of mine, while he went on podcasts calling her one of his greatest blessings. But the receipts don't lie. He's been with some of the baddest women in Hollywood, and none of them lasted. By the time Jennifer stepped in, fans had already seen the movie 100 times before. So what made her think she was special? She wasn't. She was just next. Which explains why Tiffany's shade cuts so deep. Because it wasn't just bitterness, it was experience. She knows the pattern. She lived it. And this time, her words didn't sound like a salty clapback. They sounded like she knew more than she was letting on. It's almost funny though, because even though Tiffany has been throwing digs ever since their breakup, Common has always painted himself as the greatest boyfriend alive. On the surface, he's always tried to sell himself as a woman's dream guy. Just last year, he was glowing on a podcast calling Jennifer Hudson one of my greatest blessings, and bragging about how they were equally yoked. He framed their romance like it was the mature love story he had been waiting for all his life. To the outside world, it sounded like wedding bells were ringing, like he was ready to walk her down the aisle the next morning. But fans weren't buying it, and honestly, they had every reason to be skeptical. This is the same man who once called Erykah Badu his soulmate, gushed about Serena Williams being his rock, described Taraji P. Henson as his dream woman, and bragged that Angela Rye pushed him to grow. Then came Tiffany Haddish, his so-called happy place, until he packed up his flowers and excuses. Every single woman in his lineup was his pillar of strength, at some point. Which makes you wonder, if they're all his dream girls born to make him happy, maybe the real problem is that Common keeps waking up from those dreams, and for the women, it becomes a nightmare. And that's where we get to the alleged defining moment in Common and Jennifer's rom-com relationship. The proposal rumors. Word on the street is that Common wanted to lock Jennifer down with a ring, but she wasn't ready to say yes. And honestly, it makes sense. Remember, Jennifer was once engaged to WWE star David Otunga for nearly a decade. She had a son with him, survived an unthinkable family tragedy, and later fought a messy custody battle where she accused him of aggression and manipulation. That experience left scars. It made her cautious about rushing into marriage again. Sources close to her even leaked that after her engagement went south, Jennifer swore she'd never marry, that it simply wasn't in the cards for her. So when Common came with his proposal, she allegedly pulled back. She knew his history with women. She knew her own history with failed commitments. And deep down, she probably knew better than to gamble her peace on a man like Common. But here's the catch. Common's ego has always been front and center. This is a man who uses every relationship to polish his perfect man image. To hear a no from Jennifer, after parading her around as his greatest blessing, would have stung. And that sting is exactly why Tiffany's laughter hit so hard. Because if Jennifer really did turn him down, Tiffany's digs cut him in a way no fan commentary could. Meanwhile, Jennifer and Common's silence has only fueled speculation. They haven't confirmed or denied the breakup or pregnancy rumors. Not a single word. And in Hollywood, silence is never random. The less they say, the more people talk. And the more people talk, the more valuable the story becomes. Silence builds hype, boosts ratings for Jennifer's talk show, and leaves the door open for a glossy magazine exclusive if she ever decides to tell her side. But the danger is this. Silence might work for protecting a brand, but it doesn't work when Tiffany Haddish is in the picture. Her shade is now being treated like proof, and the internet isn't waiting for Jennifer's press release to decide what's real. If Jennifer doesn't speak soon, the whispers won't just shape her relationship, they'll reshape her reputation. And sure enough, the internet has done what it always does, taken over the storyline. TikTok threads are full of side-by-side photos of Jennifer in loose outfits, some swearing they see a baby bump, others rolling their eyes and calling it body shaming. Everyone and their grandmother is clowning Common as the man who can't commit. One furious commenter even said, "Men like Common pretend they are awake, but are spiritually dead inside because they always go for the shiniest thing." Another echoed, "He's not emotionally connected to anyone but himself." By now, it's become a known fact online. Common is addicted to the love bombing stage. #narcissist. But not everyone is putting the blame on him. Some are asking how many women he has to run through before they finally realize he's not about anything serious. Others claim he's just using Jennifer for clout, pointing out that in all his interviews, he never once said he loved her. He said everything except those words. Meanwhile, fans argue that Jennifer embarrassed herself by publicly showing how much more she cared for him than he ever did for her. Either way, the conversation isn't about Jennifer's music or her talk show anymore. It's about Tiffany's jokes and Common's sad history. And as for Tiffany Haddish, plenty of people think she should focus on her comedy career, while others urge Jennifer Hudson to wake up and smell the coffee, because maybe, just maybe, Common isn't her happy place. Maybe Common is exactly what his name suggests, Common. The kind of man who shows up for a little while, but never for a long time. Like one night only. And one night only was all he ever had to give.